Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning to our Facebook friends and real producers and real estate world. We are back with our fourth installment episode of our Real Producers online conversation, Real Talk Real Estate. We will be hosting these conversations every Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. live. So no pressure this morning, ladies. And we have some of my faves with us this morning. We have Jamie Mays of the Jamie Mays Real Estate Group, RE/MAX Affiliates. Hi, Jamie. Wave to us.
Hola. Hola.
Jamie has been a licensed agent for 29 years. So I cannot wait to just get into her perspective of this market today. And she's going to bring the real this morning. And of course, we have the one and only Megan Brooks with Liberty Mutual Insurance. She is a valued RP partner affiliate and a fellow Marion, Ohio homie. So
That's
Megan
right.
and I are both from
Whoop, whoop.
Marion.
We made it out. We made it out.
Made it out.
Made it out.
So just to set the table again this morning, like I do at the beginning of every one of these episodes, we just want to kind of set our intentions and our hearts. The purpose of this series is really to provide meaningful and insightful perspective that we hope all of you watching this morning will find helpful, cathartic, and inspiring. So we're just going to kind of talk about what's going on, the challenges we're facing personally and professionally, and really kind of hopefully give some tips that will help, every conversation I have, I gain something personally too. So I just love this. This is going to be conversational and informal. And we do look forward to hearing both of your perspectives this morning and getting to know you both better as professionals and as people running successful businesses. So, I do believe we're in a situation right now where collaboration is stronger than competition, and everyone is looking for solutions, ideas, and support from their peers. As this market continues to prove to be second to none. So Jamie, and guys, look what I have this morning. So these may be making an appearance. I know that this one will for sure. So Jamie, I'm going to ask you about your overall experience in today's market. And
I have one too.
You do? Oh my gosh.
I have zero paddles. I have a doll that says the D word, and you hit it when you're mad.
Oh, that's what you do.
I saw one of those. Zoe and I went to the Morgan House in, I love the Morgan House. It's been
the best.
Teenager. And they had a damn
It's called the damn doll.
Yeah.
And when you're mad and you want to curse, you take the doll and slam it. Yep, it's right here. Hold on.
I was going to ask you if we were allowed to curse on here. If you had to be careful.
This is the damn it.
Don't say it like, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So cool.
I was like, that was so creative and very thoughtful. And I think a lot of people in real estate could use one of those.
For sure.
Currently, for sure.
But some people might use it for like voodoo.
Yeah,
no
judgment, but no, we don't. Yeah. I'm not about that.
Nope.
Jamie, with the lack of inventory and the amount of buyers in the market, kind of talk to me about what you and your team are seeing on the front lines and some ways that you're rising to this challenge.
Yeah. So as Megan knows, and I informed Katie a little bit before we went live, we put a new listing on Wednesday of last week. Showing started Friday. We had over 50 showings, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 23 offers. And I was worried that we were too high in list price. We were not too high. They probably thought, what was she doing? I feel like the realtor who just got my license and I don't know how to price houses anymore. Way over. And I would say a good third of those offers were waiving the appraisal gap completely.
Wow.
And the hard part for me, the most asked question I got was, are you going to let everybody see the house and stand by your deadline? Like, are you going to accept an offer early, or are you going to let everybody see it? And it's the seller's choice. We guide them and give them advice, but at the end of the day, it's the seller's choice. And so I had this conversation with them before we started, during the process. We got an offer before we went live. We didn't take it. We got another offer. We had two other offers during the process that wanted us with a real short window to answer. We said, thank you, but no, we're honoring our deadline. That was the most asked question because realtors are so overwhelmed by this market anyway. And
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm at the liberty of my seller, and every realtor out there in that position is, but my seller was like, well, that's not fair. I don't want to do that. I want to let everybody have a chance. And not every seller feels like that. My seller went and got a hotel room. They don't have 5 and 6 kids running around the house losing their mind either. So it's a lot. It's a lot. And at the end of the day, you just have to go with your gut and, you know, give your seller the best advice you can, and they pick the offer, and then you upset 22 other people. And it's so hard. You just have to stay professional and
Yeah.
keep the emotion out and be, you know, show your empathy. And my goodness, I've been on the other side millions of times.
Mhm.
So it's tough.
Yeah. In your experiences, I know you faced a seller's market before. Talk to me, and you're kind of touching on this, like what else feels different? And how are you managing, Jamie, going through the number of offers that you do receive on a listing? And do you let each agent kind of know? I mean, it's kind of adding this completely different layer of time and energy. Do you let each agent know details behind their offer and why it wasn't accepted?
We try. With that many, and you're usually picking that offer at 9 o'clock at night. So we have a way to message all of those agents through our showing service to let them know. And then I have phone calls and texts and emails. I have some that I haven't even been able physically to answer yet, but I try. And I know that those agents are trying to educate those buyers, because those buyers are like, what? Are you kidding me? Like over 450? No way. And yeah, way, it's over that. I mean, it's insane. This is nothing like any market we've ever been through. And in my 30 years, nothing. And I've talked to agents that have been in the business for 60 years. Same,
Wow.
nothing.
Yeah.
And it's not going to end for a while. So
Yeah.
buckle up, kids, pull your big girl pants on, because it's not going to change.
Yeah. I would imagine that this type of market is really kind of exposing, you know, there's a feeling of desperation, and I think you just hope that people are acting in integral ways, and you know, there's a lot of pressure. So I think it forces the true nature of someone to come out. And I would imagine, I mean, we're all human. Like I'm sure there are days, Jamie, where you probably feel really impatient or very completely stressed out yourself, and you know, you have to try your best not to let that seep through in other areas. How are you kind of managing that?
I would say 15 years ago, I was a completely different person, in the fact that I wasn't in coaching. I wasn't looking for ways to keep my positive attitude. I wasn't doing anything to build that muscle. Today, that's one of my superpowers, keeping emotion out. Now, does it wear on me physically? I have pain every day. So probably, yeah, but not at work, not with the people I work with. No, that's unprofessional. So you have to figure out how to do that.
It's great perspective. We'll dive into that a little bit more as we go on. Megan, I want to turn to you. Before I kind of ask a question about Megan, I want to brag on her just a little bit.
Gonna brag that we're in my bedroom. This is where the magic happens in both, well,
TMI?
things, in work and other things, apparently. So
just because you have 2 lovely, lovely children.
I do. They're a treasure.
I like your wall and the lights back there. That's really cool.
What? Oh, back here, yeah, we did board and batten. When did we do that? Yeah, it looks nice. We realized once the pandemic was, you know, as we all thought, oh, this will just last a couple of weeks. This will blow over. This is nothing.
Correct.
We're like, okay, well, we're gonna redo because this became my office. I mean, like our local office isn't planning on opening until probably end of June. So,
well, Brian, who owns a remodeling company, it did not affect him at all.
No,
and
they actually saw probably business spike because people were like, I'm not going anywhere. Might as well do the remodeling that I always wanted to do.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Megan has been a partner with Real Producers now for quite a while, and I've been in the community for 10 years now, and I think especially in a market like now, it is imperative, and I'm not saying anything anybody doesn't know, but Megan is a true business partner. I think the people that are in the foxhole with you, especially during this time, like you need to be able to trust them, rely on them, know that they're a fellow professional alongside you. And Megan is truly one of those people. She gives everything that she has to her business and her clients. So, Megan, is there something that you wish agents knew about insurance in particular, or just your business and your process? And kind of talk to me about that.
Um, I think it's one of those situations. I don't know if there's something like a magic or like a little specific tidbit I'd give them. I think the more I get connected with people like yourself, I mean, obviously I've known Jamie for years, and she's really become almost like a mentor to me. Even though we're in completely separate fields, she's really taught me to not take things so personally. When it comes to business, it is really, you have to be professional. And, for me, I wear my heart on my sleeve, I think sometimes to a fault. But I wouldn't trade that, because it's part of the reasons I know I resonate with a lot of people, is that I am very sensitive and people can kind of feel connected to me. But when it comes to real estate, I think sometimes what I would tell a realtor if I were to meet them is that it's not what you know, it's who you know. I think sometimes realtors try to wear too many hats. And I always just say, just get yourself your top 4 and just delegate to them. One of, besides Jamie, as far as, she'll reach out to me for questions about insurance. Like, does this make sense? Or does this sound right? One of the things, Nicole Harrison in Uptown Westerville, one of the things I love about her is I had lunch with her, and she's like, I have my people that I'm very loyal to. And she's like, you're one of them. She goes, because I know when they go to you, that I don't have to think about it. I trust you and it's handled. And I just really respect that. And it means a lot to me. So.
Yeah, I love that. I'd be remiss if I didn't give you a platform to just quickly speak on. You have a realtor program that I'd like for you to just touch on, because it's very unique, I think, to the industry, and something I'd like you to talk about.
Well, thank you. So we do have a 100% RESPA approved NAR benefit. And I really have been, if people are watching this, they're probably like, oh, here she goes again. But yes, it is a what we call a spiff, where a realtor can sign up all via DocuSign. Liberty Mutual finally got into the 21st century.
That is fantastic.
Big day, big day. Almost took a half day to celebrate, but then didn't. But right, yeah. It's bananas. So, but really what it is it's a way for, say, for instance, Jamie's an example because she's been signed up on it. Jamie's client, they go into contract, or they even just simply want to get quotes. Jamie would be able to pass on her National Association of Realtor benefit that she gets to her clients. So they get a discount, but in return, on a prepaid debit card, Jamie gets a $40 benefit in the form of a referral fee for the vehicle insurance only. That is how we maintain RESPA compliance.
Okay.
It's gone through legal. We're a Fortune 100 company. That's what I always tell people, it's compliant. So
it's great. Wonderful.
And in this market, it is a really great way for you to stand out with a client.
Yeah.
They're going to have to get insurance.
Love it. I'm glad that you told me more. I actually didn't know that about that program. So that's great.
Jamie, Katie, let me refer you to Megan. Megan will get a quote for you.
Yes.
Then I'll take you out to lunch.
Yes.
Okay, great. I love it. Jamie, we're going to go back to you for a second here. Given your experience in the market, how have you had to adapt to win offers for your clients? And do you have any tips on handling buyers and sellers' expectations and the emotional roller coaster that is today's market?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't remember where I heard this, but it was probably a Tom Ferry speech or video or webinar or something, that it's like dating in high school. If you have a buyer, you have to explain that they can't get attached to that house because they may never get that house. And it's like dating. It's like when you don't get that house, it feels like somebody just broke up with you. That's how hard it is on their heart. And they were trying to tell us this to get how emotional it is and how hard it is for a buyer. So setting those expectations are tough because I don't think they really get it until they lose a couple. And then they're like, okay, now I got this. Like, then you know. Another Tom Ferry agent in another state, she's up east, said that their average was 7 contracts. She has a large team. I have a small team, so I don't think we are at that number, but yeah, it's hard. And I just setting those, like if you have an FHA buyer who doesn't have any extra cash to to cover an appraisal gap, they either have to go down in price to where they can really compete, or they're probably going to, I've some kids that said, you know what, we're going to rent another year.
Yeah.
You just can't compete, and it's okay. Like, yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, that was kind of like my next question in regards to appraisal gaps. I just keep thinking, you know, do you feel the amount of funds needed to come to play is shutting out a large portion of first-time home buyers and even people that make a great living, but they don't have $60,000 plus in savings, plus their down payment. Like this has to be challenging and shutting some people out.
It for sure is. Absolutely, because of the agents that I've had to answer so far on the deal we had this weekend, I'm like, well, you know, like the person that won had a much larger appraisal gap. Many of them could cover all of it. So now we're asking for proof of funds. We never used to do that.
Yeah.
Never.
I don't remember what call I was on, but I heard someone say, you know, sometimes even a cash offer isn't the best offer, that they're looking through, and maybe you have a conventional offer or even an FHA where the other details of the offer are stronger, and sometimes even though cash is kind of creeping in more and more to win a deal, they're not trying to make that as always the end all be all. What are your feelings on that?
Well, so I've had a few cash buyers lately, more cash buyers than we've ever had in the business. They still have to go over list price. They still have to fight and with all those other buyers. It's not like cash is king. I mean, cash is great, but there's so many buyers waiving appraisal. That was the bonus of cash.
Yeah, right.
Now it's kind of a level playing field, and the cash people still have to go over. I have a cash one that's closing next week, and it was $299.9, and we used an escalation clause and got it at $351 cash. And it was neck and neck. Like it wasn't just, it was close. Yeah.
Jamie, what are little ways? Are there like kind of little, this is just really giving tips if you feel comfortable.
Sure.
Are there, given your experience in the market, there's something to be said for experience, not only just emotionally, like coping a little bit better because you're like, okay, I've been doing this for a while, and you can lean on the comfort of that experience, but are there little kind of tips or ways that you're able to feel like that you're getting your offers looked at as opposed to someone else? Kind of any insight? I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. And one thing I don't even want to say out loud, but you need to connect with that agent. You need to, and hopefully you've worked with that agent before. Like there's something to be said about relationships in this business. Realtors that think they don't have to be friends with other realtors are missing the boat.
Yes.
You don't know who your next deal is with. So have some class and be professional. And, you know, you don't have to go out to eat with them all the time, but you know, they need to know you. Yeah. And your reputation is everything right now. I've had deals where I've won. At least that's what they've told me. Like, you were so close to this. If you can match this, we want to work with you. So
yes.
It means something. That relationship means something. So I hate to say that out loud, but it really, really does.
Yes.
It's interesting too, when you get offers on your listings and you have 23, you see all the mistakes. there are so many agents out there that aren't, either they're not taking the education, or they're not getting mentored, or they're not being helped. It's scary. It's a scary thing. You want to try to find out what that seller wants, like not just closing a possession, but like what's important to them. If they put a home warranty on, this is something stupid and trivial. Don't ask for it. If you're competing, don't ask for that home warranty. That's going to save them $600. You don't know what the fine lines are going to be. Do a GD, earnest money deposit. Like, show them you're at the table to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
In every area that you can do that, because you have no idea how close it's going to be when they pick you over somebody else, or vice versa. You just don't know. And don't send letters, because we don't give them to our sellers. We're not allowed.
Good perspective, Jamie, on all
Sorry,
of that.
I'm getting on my podium and I'm starting to preach.
But it's good. It's good stuff. And that's what this conversation is about.
I will tell you kind of a little tip. And I shared this with an agent, and he ended up submitting his offer as such. He didn't win, but I mean, in another marketing or another situation, he might have. Some lenders can waive the appraisal depending on the buyer's down payment, the buyer's credit, and the address of the property. So
Wow.
ask your lenders if they can do that, because I've won some deals like that.
Wow. That's first
huge.
that I've heard that.
That's huge.
So, yeah. Well, and you brought something up that is, I hadn't exactly thought of either, but it's so true. Like having a business partner like Megan, you just referred Nicole Harrison saying, I just completely trust you and I don't have to give it a second thought. And it's that same feeling of that relationship with the other agent. I'm sure too. You see that on the offer and you're like, oh, I've worked with that agent before. What a sigh of relief. Like, I know they're going to communicate. I know that they're going to be integral, do the right thing. So very interesting detail that you brought up that I think is very, very important right now. That relationship on that other side as well. Yeah. I've always said this industry is so small. And when you really run into somebody that's a real jerk in this business, I'm like, either you're totally not self-aware or you don't understand how small this community is. Like, and everybody has a bad day. I mean, including myself, where you're just shorter than you'd like to be, but there's something to be said for just treating people how you'd like to be treated. It comes back to you. It's too small here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ladies, okay, so I think subconsciously we go through life and we kind of have our own formula to success, right? Personally or professionally. Megan, is there a formula to success that or like a culture that you've given to your life that you follow?
Real quick before I start that, I did want to just give a test or just say something about the realtors in general in Central Ohio. I know it feels like Hunger Games. In fact, when I send a nice email to clients that have gone into contract, I literally want to send a picture of Katniss and be like, congratulations, you made it to the next level, I might start doing that, but I would say what it has been really nice. And I've known Jamie for years. She's not just a friend, she's like a part of our family, but
yeah.
We're surrounded by people. I've never heard her really ever say something negative about a realtor. And she's been in this industry for 20, because she knows in her heart, she wouldn't want that said about her. She's kind of like the golden rule, Yeah. And also I'm noticing at a time where everybody's at a 9, as soon as they wake up.
Yes.
On social media, what I'm really appreciating is that there is still humor. I'm loving the gifts. I'm loving the broke agent. I'm loving it. It brings me light. It impacts me because I deal with the same thing sometimes.
And if you're watching and you don't follow Megan Brooks on social media, I'm begging you to do so, because she will help. She is that person for me. So
yeah,
go on.
It's even just following, even just the realtors have a great sense of humor. And I think that's really important. Yeah. And it's funny, and they're not smearing people. You couldn't anyway, because it's libel and slander. Right. But I just think that is really, nobody's calling people out. It's one of those things. I think that's really helpful, because it could be really easy to do right now. And at least I'm not a realtor, but I don't see that happening. Or is it realtor? Is it realtor or realtor?
Realtor.
Realtor. Okay. Secret for success.
So good. Megan, I'm so glad you went off. That was really good. Thank you for that perspective. Love it.
For secret for success. So I wish I had this, like, I've been even asked in my own organization, like, what is my secret to success, or what's my formula? I guess my whole mantra is, I just want to be my true authentic self, just like Katie Milgate. And I don't want to get put into this like box or bubble of your traditional insurance agents.
Yes.
And I just want to do better the next day than I did before. And I'm reading Reagan Walsh's book, Heart Boss. Yeah, that's my plug. Shameless plug. Just want to go ahead and
there you go.
Get yourself a copy of this today. I get no kickbacks from that. But even she talks about it, like, they talk like waking up and making, you have to lie in the bed you made. But you get to make your bed every day. You get to remake it. So if you have a bad day and sales don't go great, you still get the next day and you get to do better. Yeah. And I just hope that I get to do that. And I hope I get to show people that, like, life can knock you down and you can still get up. And my whole goal is really just to lift other people up.
You're so good at it too.
Yes.
Like, she's a queen at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
love doing it. Like, I love doing these nice things for people, because I just know, as somebody who struggles with certain things, you just don't know what somebody's going through on that specific day, and you don't know what they need. Yeah. And it could just be something so small. And I think those are the things people need right now.
Yes. Yes. I couldn't agree more. It's so good. Jamie, same question for you.
I will have to give a lot of credit to Tom Ferry. I was energetic and positive and growing, but not growing enough, or not fast enough, or not smart enough. Let's say smart enough. And I've been in coaching for 6 years now, and that's kind of when I did a switch. But I will say, your heart has to be a driven heart. Like, no matter where I get, I want more. Not everybody's made like that. They're just not. And that's okay. Yeah. But I was listening to Darren Hardy this morning, and it was amazing. If you don't follow him, you should follow him. But I've got about 20 people I would tell you to follow. So I don't know if there's enough time today. But each time, we do things and it ends up being a mistake or not right, but I'm not afraid to fail. Ask my team. We start things and we're like, oh, what were we thinking? Let's start this one. So they're probably all like, oh dear God, she's doing something else. But I don't know. It doesn't really matter the money that you make. It's more about what you're doing for other people that really makes that level, whatever it is, feel good. Yeah. I'm a member of the Westerville Sunrise Rotary. There's a plug. Best people on the planet. My favorite Wednesday mornings are my favorite morning of the week. That's my tribe. People that are giving back all the time, even when they don't have time to do it. That's probably the one negative I have, as I continue to say yes and do. But I don't know, if I'm not doing that, then all the rest of it doesn't feel as good.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't feel as good.
Talk to me, each of you, about your morning habits.
Megan, you go first.
Morning habits. I wish I was better at them.
I think we can all say that, but yeah.
I mean, ideally, yes.
She started talking about morning habits. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Like, do you want to talk about this morning? Because they weren't great.
In a perfect world, what are your morning habits?
In a perfect world, wake up,
You're an early morning riser, though.
I am. It's
ungodly hours.
It's a disease. It is just a disease. I swear, my husband and I even joke. He doesn't get up till like 7, but we joke we're like the Marines. We do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
Which is awesome.
But I just like to get up. It's that time before the kids get up. It's just nice to have a little bit of, it's a planner in me. But in an ideal world, I would get up, go exercise. It is so imperative. I know I need to start reminding myself, whether it be video or journaling, how just amazing those endorphins and serotonin feel when I'm done exercising.
I agree more.
Because I feel just so tranquil and just at peace. But then I would, stop and get a little Starbucks, a plug for Starbucks water. It's triple filtered. It's amazing. It's also free. And then, I get the kids ready. But I check my emails. I shouldn't. I'm working with a new business coach, Whitney Abraham. Love you, girl. Peace. But I shouldn't be doing that. That is the one thing, that is a bad habit of mine. But it's like, I just gotta be on top of it. But Jamie's got better habits than me. But these realtors, you guys are up too late. This 80-year-old grandma over here, no ma'am, I could not be a realtor.
Well, Jamie mentioned, I have to say this in case you forget to mention it, but
I'm going to grab it. I walked into the office yesterday. I had all my bags. I had one of these. Yes, Harper didn't get the only one. I had this. I have a yoga mat in my office because damn, it is hard. Physically, I'm not 30 anymore. So you get offers, you get 23 offers. You're working almost around the clock, and I shouldn't be. But when I am good, my morning routine, I have an alarm that goes off at 4:45.
Oh my gosh.
And again, your 5 a.m. call?
So I have a 5 a.m. call.
From who?
It's mostly Ferry agents.
Wow.
And so I don't talk. I listen.
You'd be surprised. I would not be on that. I'm not even a realtor, but I should just hop on.
Oh my God, Josh Brader's on it, I gave him so it's there's also a podcast. So if you miss the call, you can go to the podcast and listen. And I do. And Jill Boudreau is my absolute favorite. She's in Boston. And so when it's her week, I really, I'm better about being on the call. Sorry, the rest of you, you're all really great, but it's a great tribe. When I was not in as much pain as I'm in now, which I'm not trying to make it about that, I would get on my treadmill then or my Nordic track, and I would watch a YouTube video of Tom Bilyeu or somebody amazing, TD Jakes. I mean, there's a million people out there. And now I've had to pivot, not because of COVID, but just
you're
accelerated. So I have to work out at different times of the day because in the morning it's bad. So I'm working on that though. I'm going to a Pilates instructor, and I'm going to have to send her flowers because she's.
Don't you go today?
I have it today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there's always going to be, like, if it's not pain, it's always going to be like, oh, my kids have this, or there's always going to be something. So if you can't do it first thing in the morning, which I highly recommend, Megan is right. First thing in the morning is the best time, but sometimes I'll do it at night when I'm done at the end of the day. You got to do it sometime. You just have to. We have a team call that we do every morning at 8:30, and my husband reads. Right now we're reading The Shift, I think. I took a picture of it because we've been doing this for a couple years now. And so I'm kind of proud of this. We have, let's see, David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me.
Oh, it's good.
7 Levels of Communication by Mayer. Oh, The Slight Edge. That's what it is, by Jeff Olson. It's incredible.
Okay.
Mindset by Carol Dweck. Secrets of Top Selling Agents. That's by a bunch of people. I think the first one we did was You Are the Team. My very, very favorite, hands down, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero.
Oh, yeah.
I have that book.
Oh my God. Love her. Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy.
Yep.
The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. So yeah, we do that.
I think
So
I've got it all wrong. I'm over here getting ready to start Leslie Jordan's new book. I mean,
oh, Leslie Jordan would be great though.
like,
I follow Leslie Jordan because of you, Megan Brooks.
oh my God,
Yeah,
he's like, how y'all doing?
he's adorable. He's a
Oh
peach.
my God, I want to eat him.
Yeah, but so after we read for like 10 minutes, and then I buy everybody on the team whatever book we're reading so they can go along.
Love it.
And after that, we have like 5 questions we ask. My husband goes through each person. Have you worked out for 30 minutes since our last call?
Wow.
What's one thing you did yesterday that you accomplished yesterday? What's one thing that you're determined to do today? Oh, my brain. The last question is, oh, there was one in there. I think I missed. What's one word that describes how you feel today? And then one thing you're thankful for.
Aw.
Yeah.
Jamie, so good. It's so good. And, you know, I think we're all hitting on, and the level of human beings I get to converse with on the regular is something I will never take for granted, because one of my, I think, love languages is high level conversation. And there is a common thread between all of the successful people that I have the privilege to talk to. And the devil is in the details. It's what happens behind the scenes that you don't see. You know, Jamie, you are a very successful person and business owner, and so are you, Megan. And you just hit the nail on the head. Every day you're doing things behind the scenes that are raising the bar, that are making sure that and you have to do stuff like that to show up for other people, because if your tank is empty, especially in this market, you absolutely cannot give. You cannot show up for other people because you are a person too. You're a human too. And this is hard. Like, the general public have no idea the superhero like emotional strength that you have to be in this business. Lender, you know, insurance, title, realtor. Like, it is no joke. So I love that I'm not surprised that you do these things, but it's so beautiful to hear the consistency and the accountability at which you're doing these things.
And it's fun. Like we bond and we find out what everyone's pulse is for the day. If they need help. A Tom Ferry agent told me to do it and she was doing it. Yeah.
So good. Yeah. Ladies, quickly, and then we'll move on to some fun questions, because I could literally talk to you for 2 hours at least.
Nobody would be watching us. They would all
be like, man,
they'd be like,
I'm out.
Yeah. Okay, so the $1 million question, right? Like, I assume that even more so, you both feel like you're working kind of 24/7. So, and Jamie said she has a real estate hangover today, which I loved to hear. I a lot of times say I have a food hangover where I've just eaten way too much food the day before, but an RE hangover, that's what we're going to call it. How are you girls finding personal time to recharge yourself? And I think balance at this point is a misnomer, but do you girls have any tips or ways you put boundaries in your life? What are you doing for you? And maybe you're not right now. Maybe it's maybe you have not a bad answer, but maybe you're like, you know what, I need to start.
Right now it is tough. And so you go through the weekend like I just did, and like, it's like, okay, I got to get back on track.
Yeah.
You know, you see it happens. There is no real work-life balance, but there isn't anyway. And I don't live like that. I don't breathe like that. I mean, my work is my life and my husband's on my team. I mean, we work together. So there is my kids
it is entertaining. It is entertaining.
Megan, do tell. What do you mean?
Oh no, we just know Doug and Jamie very well, and it's fun to watch.
Do you guys have opposite personalities, Jamie, at all? Or like,
a little bit. Yes.
I've only met your husband, I think, once, and it was at the awards celebration, but I didn't really.
He has a treasure, but they are, they work, but that's how most couples are, you know?
Absolutely.
But, they're in different phases of their life too, but he's in it for the ride. He's there, he's not going
to. He just has to.
Yeah, he doesn't have a choice.
He's not there. I'm doing it all by myself. So
yeah, and he doesn't want that because he doesn't want to hear about it afterwards.
You know what Brian shared with me the other day? He goes, I've come to the conclusion that men are like dogs and women are like cats.
Mhm.
He's like, I mean, it was like this epiphany he had. And he's like, because we have a cat, and he always, like the way that Dino looks at him, he's like, see, you look at me like that sometimes.
Like Dino, like we expect them to read our minds.
100%. Yes.
And men are just very linear thinkers, like give them a list. Like I'm a list person. I give them a list of things to do. And people are like, oh, that's so demeaning. No, it gets done. Like it gets done. Even my kids are very like incentive focused. Dangle the carrot. What makes you tick? You want to play Battlefront this weekend? Cool. Here's what we do. It works. I mean, it's like people's love language. But what were we going to talk about?
Megan, do you have any tips for like
work-life balance?
Yeah.
She's better than I am.
I am better. It's a different beast. It's a different beast. I will say through my coaching, which I do encourage all high performers, people up and coming, get yourself a coach, invest in it. It is worth every single dollar penny, because it is somebody that will just, even if it's not that, find yourself a therapist, get yourself somebody to talk to, do that too. I have both. It's fine. But
thank you.
It's probably why I get up so early in the morning. So I can have a little more time. Like I'm done by 6:30. Do I still check emails while the family's watching Jeopardy? Yes. But my kids are also at an age where they realize that this isn't just work, this is livelihood, and there's no sort of animosity towards it, because it's gotten a lot better. And then, when Harper has gymnastics on the weekend, there's no work there. She made that clear. She'd prefer if I did not work when I go to gymnastics. Cool. I hear you. Do I need to get better about taking time off? Yes. So we're doing that. But, for the past year, there hasn't been a whole lot of places to go. So, but yeah, I think mine is a different beast. I will say, I'm not in real estate, but for me, it was setting those boundaries, and it was working with a coach that said, you get to tell people when you're done, and you telling people when you're done, they will accept that.
Yes. Yes.
But if you respond, they will expect you to respond every time.
And right like that.
Yep. Yeah. And if you don't, and so I've really been trying to get mindful about that. But I think we're all, even me being in sales and insurance, there is a fear that if I don't respond, I won't get that sale. They won't go with me.
There's been times when that's happened.
Yep. Oh, I went with somebody because they were faster.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's me? I'm like, I'm like Chris Farley. I'm like, yeah, I'm chubby, but I'm fast. I'm nimble. I won't say Chris Farley. I'm more like a Melissa McCarthy, because we all love her.
Oh my God.
But it's true. It's true. But I think that's the fear for all of us. And I think that's what we all struggle with work-life balance, is because we're afraid. What if that's the next big thing and we're missing it? And you're like, but
I just want my clients to know that they're like the only one I have.
Yes, you do want everybody to feel like they're the only one. Sometimes I worry though that I'm making the people in this house feel like they're not. That.
Oh, for sure we do. We do.
Yes.
We do.
I heard a couple things. I'm going to say a couple things on this point. I was part of a really cool all-call for Into Publishing yesterday. I was telling Jamie this, and a Dr. Amir Rashidian, I hope I'm saying his name right, he wrote The Stress-Proof Life. And he was just talking about, you need to change your relationship with stress and how you view it. Give yourself a different definition of stress. Prepare in advance for it. And he said, never focus on actually reducing stress. You need to focus on creating the gap of your adaptability to it,
or how you view it, how you process it. Yep.
And that like spoke to me big time. Yeah. But he talked about, because he's a very successful doctor, has a family. He talks about going in sprints, where he's like, I like to do a sprint where, I'll set expectations with my family. I'll say, look, for the next 3 weeks, or, in real estate, it's really, however you want to phrase it, I'm going to be a little less accessible. I'm going to be, doing this, but 3 weeks from now, we are going to do, XYZ, where you're kind of just getting your family on board with what you're going through, making them part of the process. I thought that was really cool.
Sometimes people will call that the Disney effect, or the Disney mentality, where if you're planning on a vacation and they'll say, look, we're going hard for 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But then we're going on vacation. And then they're shut. I watch a lot of lenders do that. They will go hard, but then they shut it off.
Well, and he said something else I thought was so interesting, because I think it's because I've worked so hard all of my life. And I do feel like, I don't know, but I was forced to be this person in my family for so long. I don't remember a lot of my daughter's young years because I was working so much. But with anything in life, there's pros and cons. She has seen her mom work so hard.
Yes, she's a really good role model.
Thank you. But he said something interesting, because I am about work-life balance. Now I kind of like get almost overprotective sometimes of, there's a balance there too. He said, you don't want to sacrifice your work for your health, but you don't want to sacrifice your health for your wealth either. He said, I try to really toe the line there, or balance that out. And it's interesting when you just hear a statement and you're like, oh, wow, that's true too. Because you don't want to be so focused on your well-being that you're not doing the activity that you need to do. So later on, you're also reaping that reward too. So that was interesting that I heard yesterday. Ladies, before we shift into some fun questions, do you have any inspiring advice, final thoughts, any really cool, inspiring, like, transactions you've been a part of, Jamie, where you're just like, yes, that's what this is about? Leave me with some positive thoughts before we shift.
Wow, that's a question I didn't expect.
Katie has really good questions.
She's the best interviewer.
She should be at like a TED Talk.
Oh, God.
Good. Oh, no, because it's not just the question, it's the way you ask it.
Yeah.
That's the good part.
Thanks.
Or like she should do like hot ones, like the wing challenge on YouTube.
What's that?
Oh, you gotta Google
Katie.
it.
I'm like, I don't know. I know that we're different.
I'm old.
I'll send you the
link.
You're not
old. First of all, you're not ever allowed to say that.
It's a gentleman who I'll send you the link. It's really good.
Okay.
It's a gentleman who interviews celebrities. Rihanna, Gordon Ramsay, Shaquille O'Neal. And he interviews them. Paul Rudd's is the best, because I love Paul Rudd. And as he interviews them, they have to eat various stages of hot sauce with wings.
You're kidding me.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
I've not even heard of this. Oh, that's
amazing. You'll get lost. Show it to Brian. It's really good. And plus it's interviews. I give the props to my husband. He literally shows me, and I mean, he's the one who told me about Yellowstone. I mean, he allows me to be cultured, because otherwise it would just be nothing but Bravo.
Right? She's right. She's so right.
Well, I forced Brian to watch. I feel like I'm getting better. I feel like I live with high functioning anxiety. So,
we all do.
Anytime I watch something on TV, like, I'm not good with dramas, because no matter what I watch, I genuinely, it's like you
internalize it. You're like, oh my God.
Oh, totally. So I watch like British cooking shows.
Yeah, the Great British Bake Off.
Oh, it's one of my favorite shows.
Or Top Chef is good.
And there's Brian's like, again.
I worry about those people that don't make it. I do.
Yes.
And then there's me. I just watch wealthy women yell at each other for an hour.
I can't do that, Megan.
And see, that's the thing is my husband's like, you have so much anxiety. How can you just watch these women just yell at each other? I was like, I don't know.
Maybe it feels good.
I don't think it does. I need to discuss this with my therapist.
Well, I think it makes you feel better about yourself. I mean,
yeah, but there's got to be other shows I could watch that make me feel better about myself than like Ramona, you know.
I don't even know who that is.
See, I will school you on her. Kim Mills knows who I'm talking about.
Oh, we gave a shout out to Kim Mills.
Kim Mills.
Yes. Kim,
I love you.
Kim made it.
One of my favorite people. She made it.
I met her through you two. Like I met her through you.
I've met her literally once in person, but I feel like I've known her my whole life.
We need to go to lunch. We do.
100%. Yes. Ladies, any positive experiences? And then we're gonna have some more fun. Anything else you'd like to leave us with?
All I will say is give to others, you will get in return more than you can expect. Whether it's mentoring agents, and yes, we are always looking for great agents for my team. There's my other nasty plug. But you got to be humble and hardworking and ready to go after it and do what you have to do. But give to others and you will get more in return.
So good. Miss Megan?
I would probably piggyback on that sort of a giver's gain mentality. I mean, when I first started with Liberty Mutual, I did join a BNI group, and that is kind of the mantra that they have. But also on giving to not get.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah.
I really struggled with that for a while.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to just realize why you're giving, and that it feels good to give, and that you shouldn't expect anything back, which you shouldn't anyway, but even like a text.
I think it's human nature.
That was great. That was great.
Oh, Megan, I love it.
Now the world is getting to experience Megan Brooks and why we love her so
much. I just want to carry you around in my pocket.
Right? I would like to
say something.
I would like to say I have probably won many a clients over the past year with the use of gifts via text, like to the point where I'm like, see, State Farm's not doing that. No, ma'am. No.
Megan is such a good gift giver.
I am.
The best.
Gift and gifts. Yes.
The best. All right, ladies, we're going to have some fun. So before I get into some would you rather questions, I love supporting local business. So is there a restaurant or place you love in your community that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Oh,
I have one I'll say. Did you have somebody?
No, you go. We frequent the same places, so this is hard.
I don't think you've been here. So I'm in Am Spirit, the Lewis Center Am Spirit group, and we meet at the Royce.
Oh yeah, you love this place.
Oh yes, I've been dying to try that.
Oh my goodness. Walter is the owner / manager. He is a dreamboat, and their food is amazing.
His name is Walter. Okay.
Walter, the Am Spirit group, we meet there on Thursdays for lunch every week. Now we're back into in person.
Awesome.
And it's just, love it. Love it.
I'm so glad you mentioned them.
Yeah.
And the Royce is located on
it's by Cohatch on Polaris at the Polaris Ball by Benihana.
Okay.
It's where Cantina Laredo used to be.
Great.
Oh, and they have
the igloos during the winter, right?
What?
They have the igloos during the winter, right?
They do. They still have the igloos set up, and they have live music on Thursdays night, evenings.
Ooh.
Okay. What about you, Megan?
So I'm not as classy as Jamie. I am, but I'll say a store and a restaurant.
Okay, good.
But it's because Jamie loves the store too. So I'm technically saying it for her. Pure Roots, Uptown Westerville.
Amen.
Owned by Nicole Harrison, I know, weird. Yeah.
Different
Nicole. Nicole Harrison.
In Westerville. That's outrageous.
In Westerville, around the corner from each other. Super cool shop. Our Sally used to take guitar lessons in there, and he just does them virtually now. Just a cool lady and just really cool, unique gifts. And obviously it's Uptown Westerville. And then favorite restaurant, I gotta say Time and Change, on County Line Road in Sunbury. It's a little mom and pop place, especially with the pandemic.
Yeah.
They were hit pretty hard.
You
But
said Time and Change?
Time and Change, it's in the strip mall with Ace Hardware and Rock and Jump. Best food, best bar food. I think my son aspires to be like the bartender Steve when he grows up. So that's good.
Well, Katie, that's where we do our yearly fundraiser, our Christmas
Yes.
party. We have it at Time and Change.
Oh, okay.
To host it there. This will be.
So if you've been to Jamie's warm party, you've been to Time
I
and
haven't
Change.
yet.
You'll have to come this year.
We're gonna, because by then blowing it out.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Okay,
it's
awesome.
fantastic. Yeah.
Let's go. All right, it's time for Would You Rather.
Would you? Oh, I love this.
Again, I can't ask real questions I'd like to ask.
We'll save that for lunch with Kim.
Yeah.
Okay, good. We have to keep this suitable for all parties. So would you rather give up your phone or only wear Crocs for the rest of your life?
Wear Crocs. Wear Crocs.
Does this look like somebody that would wear Crocs?
I would rather wear Crocs. I have feet like a hobbit, so it doesn't really matter.
Crocs could be as beautiful as those shoes, then I would agree with you.
Yeah. Jamie, they have tie-dye Crocs. They have sparkly Crocs.
I'm
But
sure.
no
that-
phone?
I think I'd have to give up my phone. The thought of
I would have to give up my phone.
I know.
I gotta look good. Somebody else could carry the phone.
I haven't looked good for a year. And I'm
Oh,
like,
shut up. Yes, you have.
Please, you look good right now.
no, it's because I'm on this call. Wait till we're over and I'm back in my sweatpants looking like Charlize Theron in Monster.
I kind of want to know what shoes you have on right now.
I have none on. I'm barefoot.
I ironically just saw a visual of Charlize Theron and
I say you the me. I say you the
terrible.
Yeah, that's me. There's like a side by side, her on the Oscar carpet, and then her in the movie Monster. And I'm like, that's pretty much me most of the pandemic. That's why they was like, you want to get on a Zoom call? I'm like, no.
Well, Megan knows I dress up to go to the grocery store. So what does that say?
Oh gosh, yeah, Jamie, I just
like,
always look.
Yeah, she does. Her, Nicole Harrison, like Nicole puts on, like, gets dressed up. Me, I'm in the grocery store.
Because you never know what you're going to see.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I don't want to say I'm dressed like a homeless person, but I'm pretty close.
Yeah, the older I've gotten, the more I find that I put makeup on even on the weekends. But therefore, usually
Well, wait till you're my age. That's all I'm gonna say. Wait till my age.
What was I?
Okay.
If you don't follow Jamie on social media too, please do, because she gives out like and I gotta find a different word for cathartic because
what's the definition of cathartic?
It's like, oh man, this conversation feels good. I so get it. Like my soul needs it. That's Katie's definition of cathartic.
Like you're high.
Healing.
Yeah, relatable. Like, oh, this is like I so get what they're talking about. It makes me feel more normal. Jamie posts videos pretty regularly about kind of just what's going on, her day, like how she's feeling. So definitely follow Jamie on social media. Okay, ladies, would you rather have more time or money?
More time.
Probably time. That's the right answer.
Me too.
But if you have more money, you could pay more people to do the stuff. So you don't.
Yeah.
Totes. Would you rather speak in front of 200 people one time or have a mullet for a year?
Oh, I'd totally speak in front. I would do it today. We're doing it right now. Although mullets, I don't know.
They've made a comeback if you didn't know.
Well, I don't want us to go into the archives, but I may or may not have had a mullet at one time in my life. So I've already done that. So I'll go with speaking in front of 200 people.
Okay.
Yep. We'll post that on Real Producers. That would be a really fun Real Producers spread. Like a high school, guess who this is. Have you? Okay.
Yes, we actually have like a throwback photo.
Yeah, but you have to guess who it is.
Oh yeah. I love stuff like that. I love old photos. Would you girls rather be stuck on a broken ski lift or an elevator?
Broken ski lift.
Broken ski lift.
You're outside.
It's the claustrophobia.
It's the claustrophobia for me.
Well,
Do I have my
why-
phone? Do I have my phone?
Okay, good question. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, ski lift with a
Fine
phone.
either way. But if somebody has to urinate and you're in an elevator, that's way different than if you're on a ski lift.
Yeah.
That is so true. Yeah,
Mm.
so true. Would you rather have to cook every meal for a month or take care of your husband with a cold for an entire week?
Ooh, cook every day.
Cook.
Mhm.
Oh gosh. Would you rather read an awesome book or watch a good movie?
Read an awesome book.
Can the book be on Audible?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, the book.
Okay. The last question. Would you rather be a kid your whole life or an adult your whole life?
Ooh, a kid.
A kid.
Yeah.
You got it pretty good, even though the world is a nutty place to be.
Yeah.
But at least they feel safe and they don't right
If
now. there's
Megan was
most of
my
them-
mom, I would totally want to be a kid.
Yeah, I think it
And
depends
see,
on
I
the
wanted to be, and then I wanted to be an adult. The thing is kids want to be adults so quickly. And I'm like, don't.
Yeah.
I know.
You have to pay
If I could go back
taxes.
to the 90s and about 10 years old, I might just stay there.
I
Although
mean,
when you put it that way, I'd rather be an adult. I'd rather be me right now.
yeah, I'm pretty happy. I mean,
I'm
Yeah.
pretty happy.
Yeah. Yep. It's taken me to get into my 40s, but that's such a beauty of getting older and experience. And man,
Wait till your 50s.
you never figure it all out, but you are just
Mm-mm.
more comfortable in your own skin and you're like, you can set boundaries in your life and it's easier. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty great.
Katie's just living her best life now that she's engaged.
I genuinely am. I wake up
Mhm.
every day and feel like I'm in a
You're like,
dream.
what? But you
Like
had to make some really tough choices to get there.
I did. It's been very, very difficult. Yeah. But
you
we
are the
made
person
it.
you are because of it.
Yeah. Well, ladies, I cannot thank you both enough for taking the time out of your busy schedules to visit with us today. I'd like to especially thank Megan for being a valued RP partner. Like, you make what we do possible, and without you, we don't exist. So thank you.
We
so
love real
much.
producers.
Thank you
Amen.
so much. We look forward to seeing everybody again next Tuesday at 11. Ladies, I just adore you. Thank you for your hard work. Keep up the good work. And don't forget to take care of yourself. For me.
Love you guys.
Love you more. Bye. Have a great day.
Bye.